really good show.
It's a good
today.
show. I'm just sort of nervous because I feel like I'm not.
Are you gonna Facebook or are you gonna do the show?
I had to my Facebook
Quick Facebook. This is a really good show. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned in to episode 51 of The Real Word. Word is up.
Word up.
Word is up. Maybe it sounds a little bit different.
I bet maybe it does.
If you're listening along.
I don't know why.
We had a little upgrade to the
upgrade. We actually just took off the friggin'
situation.
lid like we were supposed to 50 episodes ago.
A little embarrassing moment
we've
here.
been deep. Although now at least like I'm not. I feel like I was always like.
Yeah.
Now at least.
I don't know. I think maybe it was windy the first 50 episodes. Now it's not windy in here. I don't know what this is all about, but we had it.
We learned. It's fun though.
Took us 50.
We're adults now. We've grown up.
Yeah. Hopefully the next 50 go over
yeah,
much
we can
smoother.
See. We just keep shaving it down.
Yeah. See
where heads next.
All right, we've got a really good show. I mean, this is.
You're excited about
action packed. Yeah, all 4 topics really, really speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're new to the show, if you missed any of the first 50, go back and watch them all like over the holiday vacation, just like it's a Netflix series. Just pound them all out.
Netflix series, I like it.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they'll see that Nicole is wearing the same outfit 2 weeks in a row. I think I've done it one other time.
That's
okay.
Let
me know when.
It's a good. There you go.
There was another time.
I like that.
There was another time that I wore the same outfit back to back.
So if you're new to the show, the first topic is the main topic, and then we pick 3 topics that we say, is this a racket? Is this not a racket? Basically, is it full of shit or not? Is the essence of the rackets, right?
Just the microphones. The microphones have really got me thrown for a loop for some reason. I don't know why.
So, and this could be a racket, actually. All this stuff could be a racket.
They're
This first one here kind of is a racket. Our main topic. We don't want them here. New York City locals talking about Amazon headquarter 2.
So they have announced that Amazon is actually going to be splitting. They're going to be in Virginia, and they're also going to be in
Long Island City,
in New York, and I think that's the Bronx. I'm not really
Queens.
good with Queens. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. It is the Queens.
The 7 boroughs.
Yeah, I'm not.
Borough.
For being so close to the city, I'm not very good at it. But
that's okay.
So there's this interesting article about the fact that the Long Island City folk do not want them there.
Listen to this. We locals don't want them here. John Casella, a Long Island City native and broker at Crest Haven Realty, told Inman, I hope they at least offer benefits and health insurance to workers. Like, dude, what are you, Mother Teresa, dude?
Yeah.
Like, you know what you should be thankful for? John from Long Island City, who's also a broker. Like, dude, honestly, John, you should think about what you said and be ashamed, because you're lucky that you have jobs.
Well,
you have jobs in abundance where you live that you can just say,
well, especially as a
F
broker.
off Amazon as a broker for
now
your
you're
market?
getting to help.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
to me.
I think. So if you keep reading it, he does go on.
John,
to,
I love you.
We love you, John.
I would love you.
He goes on to say about their infrastructure. So I feel like it's sort of like, remember we've always talked about the shit sandwich. Like I feel, although it wasn't a positive, like I feel like he was at least trying to sound like he was working for the new employees. Like I hope you get that was probably to win them over to then like help them buy a house.
I hope you
but
get
then
benefits.
in the middle,
I think
he really
you suck.
talks about like.
No, I just think it's egregious to like be doing real estate in a marketplace and say, I want less jobs here. Like, John, come here to the Connecticut shoreline where a job is a rare thing.
Yeah.
Like a new job is super rare out here for just to be popping up, let alone headquarter 2. We're talking, and they're going to split up the jobs. 50,000 new Amazon employees. So you're going to get 25,000 employees and you're poo-pooing that? That's insanity to me.
I agree. I mean, again, I can understand it if you think that your infrastructure is weak. It sounds like he's really worried about the subway system because they use the New York City Transit. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I would never want my name quoted in any sort of development or positive. I mean, it could spur like redevelopment of a corner of your town that may need it. I mean, I think it's all just really good.
It's
really
not in
good
our rackets,
stuff.
but this is a total racket to me. I'm totally punting John's response. Like, I get it. The traffic's going to increase. But here's the thing. if you want the upside of a New York City or New York City area marketplace, that's what you deal with. You sign up for that. We're over here on the Connecticut shoreline. We can't really bitch and complain about lack of jobs.
Right.
We signed up for this.
We totally
There are
did.
no jobs here. The town that we live in is 20,000 people. Like, okay, we signed up for that.
Right.
If we want 20,000 in a neighborhood, then we better move to New York City
Right.
and put our big boy and big girl
Ooh,
pants
yeah,
on
they're
and deal with the
bringing in
traffic.
they're bringing in our whole town. They're bringing in their whole town into this
They're
new
more than our town. They are bringing in and giving them jobs. People that are going to fill up restaurants. It's to me a place, and I think most of the country would agree with me. I'm not beating you up, John.
You know what
I'm
would
sure
be
you're a
fun
good
though?
guy.
It'd be fun to
Maybe
see
you got
Virginia's
misquoted.
rebuttal. Like Virginia should be like, "We'll take you."
Right,
know?
we'll take the whole
That'll
thing.
Be fun. That'll be
right?
a fun little rebuttal. We'll give them our microphones. They'll love them.
So good segue into our racket round. All
Ready?
right, because I think that was a total racket. So, but racket number one here. Marijuana and real estate, and I love National Association
NAR,
of Realtors.
yeah.
NAR, your
Look at Realtor
Realtor.org.
Mag really tickling your fancy today. I like it.
Absolutely, a budding issue. I like what you did there with the headline. So,
Although I feel like it's super misleading. The whole
Yeah.
thing's misleading. If you really read the article, it's really just talking about needing to know
we have a
your
little screenshot. Suave, I want you to put up the screenshot over us. It's got a bunch of the key facts that Nicole found, and one of them is 1 to 2% of residential respondents where marijuana is legal for medical or for medical and recreational use were aware of their MLS containing a specific marijuana field. So like a place like Colorado where it's legal, only 1 to 2% of people. But here's what's throwing me off. NAR's reporting this, but like NAR, a lot of the people that are selling these marijuana, buildings that would be good for a grow room, those are commercial brokers. They may or may not be a member of NAR.
Well, right. So
why would these residential agents know about the fields if they're not dealing any commercial real estate?
Well, I guess I'm a little. I
This
guess
is all commercial. To
I
me.
don't really. So I don't even like that fact. Like I would just skip that fact because I feel like there's so many other facts. Because that's just a weird fact. I'd also like to. I feel like if it was really an important field, they'd probably asterisk it, and you wouldn't even be able to submit your listing until you answered it. But
100%. So
Yeah.
which factoids did you
well, I don't
really
know.
like,
So there were some
Nicole?
of them there that were like it was talking about like does it help property value? Because they're calling it is it a budding issue? Well, they're saying it is a budding issue, and I'm not so certain that it is a budding issue. They're talking about property values going up in the states that have legalization. It's talking about property values actually going down around dispensaries. But
Talking
again,
about
it's
property values going down?
a little bit around the dispensaries. But I think it also, let me.
Yeah, but
it says
have
here.
you? I mean, most of the dispensary. Now,
We've driven by a dispensary once, and
Yeah.
it was sort of like
They're
I
putting 'em
wouldn't
in
wanna live
areas
there,
that-
even if
yeah.
it was.
that's
like,
my point. I don't
yeah.
think they're putting them in areas that is like really gonna have much upside for.
Right. There's now homeowner association rules and regulations. I mean, of course. I mean, if you can't smoke cigarettes in a public spot, you can't smoke marijuana, right? In my opinion, I think it's misleading. I feel like they always have their misleading things, but it made us read it because I don't know that it's a budding issue. I just think it's new things that they now need to implement into their everyday.
So I just looked up a quick fact, and this is a Colorado Biz magazine, so I don't know how accurate it is, but presently marijuana consumes 3% to 4% of all industrial space in the metro area. So I don't know that was 3 or 4% of competition that wasn't there however many years ago in Colorado.
Right. And it could have just been like an empty building
So
for all we know.
Certainly good for industrial zoned real estate owners and brokers. I haven't, outside of, what did you say, a couple property values? I haven't heard of much of a...
Yeah, it said 12 to 14% saw a decrease
Negative
in
impact
residential
anywhere?
property values near dispensaries. I mean, that's really only 10% of the market that's seeing.
Yeah,
is
I haven't
seeing it.
heard of much of a negative issue. Listen, if it's going to create... And I don't have the stat in front of me, and maybe somebody does, but Colorado, I believe, it's created a new tax. That could be a good thing. You get money flowing into your economy, and going back to the Amazon thing, you get jobs flowing into your economy. Less about money. You get jobs flowing, and if this can create jobs, I don't have the numbers on how many jobs it's actually created, but you get jobs flowing, that's always a positive to me, because the rest of that stuff with jobs and tax money can work itself out. Like,
Right.
I don't know that there's a little bit increase of crime, but Maybe there is. These are high cash businesses.
Yeah,
this would be more like
because I would almost
this would
like
be more like mafia crime. People like robbing the dispensary for their money.
But I also feel like it might decrease a little bit now, right? Because now that it's like legal, like you're not like hitting people up on the streets to like pass
on
a
the
little.
Streets.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done marijuana, so I have no idea how like the whole thing goes down. But
how many street deals are happening for a dime bag? You think these days? I would imagine not many.
Does anyone even buy a dime bag anymore? I mean, that's like shake.
All right, racket number 2. Why seller, going right from the dime bags to Zillow, that seems super fitting. Why seller leads are Zillow's biggest opportunity. Shout out to David, David L. Ness, help me on the last name. Reebstein? That's what I'm going with. David, anyways.
She's out to lunch.
Appreciate the email. Yeah, I've got the name in there. Email from David L. Reebstein. And this was his comment. We're going to link this article up like we always do. He wrote to me, is anyone buying Zillow stock? And so I'm like, I paused and I thought about what he said there, because basically he's referring in this article, is talking about all the seller leads that they're going to generate in 2019. Mm-hmm. It's going to be more. I think they'll generate.
Because of their iBuyer. Yeah.
Right. And here, I'll make a prediction. I think Zillow's going to create more seller leads in 2019 than they have the entire time they've been in business.
Okay.
I think they're going to produce an obscene amount of seller leads. Mm-hmm. Now, if you open this article up, I'll encourage you all to do that.
So I've done seller leads before. I actually did it on Realtor one time.
Those were crap leads. I know what you're talking about.
Right. I mean, they were crappy. I was able to have conversations with multiple people but when they clicked the link, they didn't realize that it was going to an agent. They just thought that they were getting like a value on their home.
When they drop iBuyer nationwide, these are people really reaching out to get some type of an offer, and when they realize that's not the offer they want, and then they talk to an agent about selling their home.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking you what you think.
That's a much better lead, right? Than,
I agree.
Then what's the value of my
home?
Also,
it's a lot less. It's a lot less misleading too, because on Realtor it was like, want to know the value of your home.
Click here, click there, click everywhere.
I mean, my daughter would probably click it, being like, "Cool, like I want to know what my house is worth." Like, and then
fucking mom's been lying to me. She won't even buy me a goddamn lollipop. Got a $500,000 house over here.
Easy peeps, yeah.
You know.
So I do think that obviously this will be a much like better lead source than the realtors like misleading leads. Yeah.
100%. Mm-hmm. Open up this article.
So you are buying stock though, to answer his question.
Well, here's the thing, David. I think I'm not a financial planner. Can we do a little disclaimer here?
A little like flash.
I am not a financial planner.
Yeah,
Straight
he
up,
was talking with the cover on his mic. Just remember that.
Remember that. So I'm not the brightest guy. But I don't know, if I'm sitting on money and I want to invest in the stock market and I know a little bit about the real estate world, or I know a lot of it, like people watching this show, and you know exactly that Zillow's being strategic, they're not stupid what thir doing. This chart, which, Suave, please put this chart up, and you can go to the article if Suave forgets, basically, and look at the chart. It says Zillow's premier agent year-on-year revenue growth. From 2016 to today, it has gone nothing but down. And when you look at Q4 of 2018, it is down significantly. Q3, it was down. It's taken a big hit with PA4. Mm-hmm. You think Zillow's trying to put themselves out of business? I actually do. I think they are trying to put the old model out of business to come back and clean up in 2019, 2020, 2021 with the tweaks that they're making. So I think a stock that's gone from 65 at its peak this year down to it's trading right now in the $27 range is a huge win. People always say, how do we get Zillow as agents? You buy their stock and watch it quadruple over the next 4 years.
It is interesting.
And 4x your money.
Because they've done this to themselves.
They have done this to themselves because they see a broken model and they see huge opportunity, and they're not going to let Open Door get it. I don't know. Zillow's pretty smart. I think they're going to create a lot of seller leads. They are 100% tapping into your commission more than ever before.
Well, I think what's really interesting, though, too,
and it just is what it is.
Is the timing, though, too, because we're also entering sort of like, and everyone like is just always so worried about the word recession, but we are sort of on a downswing, and we all know that the only way to win is having the listings. So they're smart in going after the listings, because that is we're all going to be like super hungry for the listings come the next 7 years, because that's where we're going to be.
And here's the thing. I think that if you're comfortable with 35%, whether you pay Zillow on a monthly fee or whether you do the straight up referral fee, which is coming. If you're comfortable with 35% of your commission, Zillow's going to have a great product for you.
Right.
Like if you're comfortable with massive commission compression coming from Zillow, and listen, I think that some agents should be, because they may not have the business structure to build brand. I think you should focus there. But if you can't do it and you need to eat day to day, 35% off the top could be a great model for you, because they are going to produce really good seller leads in the future. They're setting themselves up for that. And so that's why I think the stock will do well. So David, really appreciate the email and the article. By the way, before we go to racket number 3, anybody wants to send in, whether it's through the comments or articles or email, however you want to do it, we're always happy to take that. We'll talk about it on the show. So shout out to you, David. Let's make sure we link up. Actually, David, I didn't have your social stuff. I had his website, but maybe
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got
maybe.
some time.
I'm not making that promise. All right. Racket number 3. Worst holiday mistake, taking your listings off the market. Is this a racket, yes or no?
I actually take, like, I'm not understanding the question.
So
is it a racket to take it off the market?
Should you take your listings off the market?
I do think that it is
in the holiday.
I think it's a complete racket to take your house off during the holidays, unless there's some real reason why, like you're having family for like 3 weeks and you're gonna be turning down showings. Take the flipping thing off the market. But no, I think that if you want to sell and you need to sell, why would you not expose yourself to the open market for, so in our market, it's a little bit different. I mean,
there's a couple things here.
We're up against cold weather. We're up against snow during the holidays. I mean, there's so many things that are, so we're potentially looking at almost like a 60-day, and I hate to say holiday market. It's just the winter market.
Here's a couple things.
But I would not take it off during the holiday. I mean,
back when, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, Zillow, you could literally take a house off the market and MLS and Zillow, and you could refresh days on market back to 0.
Right.
Now you can't do that.
Right.
Zillow will keep track of everything.
Right.
If you're in a fast-moving market, say you're in Boston, and I'm not getting that much activity right now, and I'm leading into holiday season, and buyers are paying attention to days on market very closely because they're all very short. So you would be now the outlier by having high days on market. Maybe that's a strategy to take off. But if you're here in Connecticut where everybody has high days on market, like everybody does, it makes no sense to do it.
And I think we talked about it last week. I mean, we have some communities where like you're looking at a 3-year day on market.
Right.
Like the longer you're on, the better you're going to have a chance of at least getting a buyer. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think if you really want to sell, why bother taking it off? You never know when someone's coming. I've put offers in on homes on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
There's buyers, if they need to, and you want to be the one, because if there's less inventory, they're going to have to make a decision based on what is being provided to them.
The subcaption, whatever you call it, buyers are increasingly taking advantage of holiday slowdown to place serious offers.
Love it.
There are serious buyers out there, and everybody has this. Here's what it comes down to. Sellers. I'm speaking to the sellers now and the listing agents. Here's what it comes down to. Are you working with, or are you a real seller? Do you really want to sell your house? Right. Or are you just wasting everyone's time, testing the market, playing bullshit, right? Like, if you want to sell, then you're going to have an opportunity to sell in December and January if you're priced accordingly to the market. You're going to have a lot less competition because everybody's got in their heads right now, let me take it off, or let me just be lazy. I don't want to show the house.
Or buyers also think that they're going to be getting a deal this time of year. So I feel like, you know what, as long as they're putting like pen to paper and they're that invested in it, I'm certain we could find a number that everyone's going to be happy with.
And you might have to negotiate up.
Well, you're obviously going to have to negotiate up probably this time of year. But again, I think buyers also think that they can get a deal this time of year because it's sort of like the off.
And I think it's your personal situation too. Like, okay, you've come this far. Now the kids are, if you have kids or something, maybe halfway through the school year.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like, you know what, it's just better for our lifestyle to come back on mid-January, end of January, time this thing, more in line with the spring, move in the spring/summer. We're not switching
but then there's
schools.
then you have tons of competition though.
I understand. I'm just saying maybe someone makes a decision on a lifestyle and they say, this is why I'm doing it. There has to be a reason. The thing that frustrates the market and brokers and everybody off and buyer agents, fires them up, is when people are just coming off the market with no reason whatsoever, right? And they've just got no plan or no strategy. they're typically the sellers that overprice the crap out of their listings and
Right. Or
are
agents
just
that
hoping
aren't
for a
really
lottery ticket.
navigating them in the right direction, though, either.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be just as much the agents. 100%. Most of the time, it is the agent's fault.
Yeah. I mean, it is case to case, but I wouldn't. I mean, if you want to sell and you're eager to sell and your goal for 2019 is to move, like, now's the time. Keep it on.
I think you're 100% right. It's a racket to take your house off the market through the holidays. If you're committed to selling, you know where you're going, and you want to get it done.
I think most houses are kind of like look pretty during the holidays, though, too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. All right.
Do you decorate?
No.
Okay.
Deal?
I do.
All right. Well, speaking of the holidays,
Enjoy your
we'll wish
Thanksgiving,
everybody.
everybody.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving. Super grateful for you guys for the show. I know we went through that kind of last week with episode 50, how grateful we are. But we really do appreciate all you guys reaching out and engaging. And certainly drop us some comments and some likes on this one if you could, please. All right. Keep it real. Have a safe holiday.
Bye, guys.